I wonder if that's right.
Okay, you can just look right at me. Let's move a little bit over here. Okay. Can you give me your name and how you spell it?
My name is Jeremy, Jeremy.
Let me bring you up a little bit. So you say your name is Jeremy, last name?
Jeremy Fazy,
How do you spell that?
Fesi.
And why are you here?
I'm here exercising my constitutional right to protest, protesting the manifold, extra-legal, and unconstitutional acts that the administration is doing and Congress is allowing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for taking that shirt inside out.
And we immigrants, we love this country often more than the people who are born here because we chose to move here, live here, swear an oath to the Constitution here, an oath that the guy down the street violates every morning and every night. The great irony is, of course, that Donald Trump is the son of an immigrant, the grandson of an immigrant, and married to an immigrant. In fact, 2 of his 3 wives were immigrants, proving yet again that immigrants will do the jobs that even Americans are not willing to do. I immigrated here from the United Kingdom. You want to talk about no kings? The UK still has a king, King Charles III, but even he has less gold in his palace than Donald Trump has in the Oval Office right now. Even King Charles has more respect for democratic norms and traditions than the whiny authoritarian man-child trying to send troops into as many blue cities as he can. This is a president who says he wants to be a dictator, but only for a day. Well, we are now 271 days into his wannabe dictatorship. He just went to see the Egyptian president Sisi, who is a military dictator, runs one of the most repressive regimes on earth. And he went there and he said, I want to praise your fantastic leadership and your low crime rates. This is who he loves. This is the autocratic leader he aspires to be. And of course, he was in Egypt hailing his Gaza peace plan, which is a ceasefire, yes, but not a peace plan. Donald Trump, the man who uses Palestinian as a pejorative, as a slur, has no plan for Palestinian freedom, no plan for Palestinian statehood, no plan for justice for the Palestinians who have been massacred and starved and genocided and ethnically cleansed for the past 2 years, including the past 9 months of his presidency. Meanwhile, Israel for the past week has violated the ceasefire again and again, killing Palestinians with impunity. Yesterday they killed 7 Palestinian children during a ceasefire. There is no peace in the Middle East because, as Dr. King said, peace is not just the absence of violence, it is the presence of justice. So these are dark times. Genocide abroad, fascism at home. Which is why it's so crucial that we gather, we organize, we rally like this. We mobilize, we pluralize, we bring people into the tent. We register voters, we defend voters, we become voters if we're not already. And you know, they say we don't reach out to the other side. We don't reach out to conservatives or Republicans, that we're in an echo chamber. Well, let me say to every Republican and conservative watching, aren't you the ones who said no more big government, no tyranny in America? So if you believe that, what are you doing defending masked federal agents in unmarked cars, bundling people off of the streets, including American citizens, and disappearing them? How are you okay with that? And if you're not okay with it, then come over to our side, the side of the Democrats. The small d Democrats, not the big D Democrats, not the Democratic Party. Those of us who are from all parties and none. But those of us who care about saving America so that we can get to our 250th birthday and still be free when we reach 250 years. Come over to our side, the side of no crowns, no thrones, no kings. The side of freedom, of liberty, of the Constitution. The First Amendment, the Fourth Amendment, the 14th Amendment, the 22nd Amendment, which says 2 terms means 2 terms. And if you're not worried about Donald Trump trying to stay on for a 3rd term, you should be. He's literally selling merch. So I worry about free and fair elections in 2028. But then I say, why should I worry? I see all of you here today. What is there to worry about? We here today are not spectators. We are citizens. We are not bystanders, we are proud and patriotic Americans. And we Americans, we the people, will not allow our country to be taken over by demagogues and dictators. We will not stand for it. So let me ask you this. I need to hear you. Are you willing? Are you willing? Answer this. Are you willing to sit back and let Trump shred our freedoms? I can't hear you, DC. They need to hear you in the White House. Are you willing to let Trump shred our freedoms? Are you willing to sit back and bend the knee to fascists and white supremacists? Are you willing to be the Americans on whose watch democracy died? Good, because people power is our last line of defense. Remember this, Donald Trump has never, ever, not in 3 elections, won a majority of the vote. Never. And I'll say this to you. I'll say this to you. Here's the math that they are scared of. There are more of us than there are of them. We are the majority. Say it with me. We are the majority. They're not loud enough today, DC. Come on. Louder. We are the majority. Yes, we are. And we have no intention of losing our country, our democracy, our freedoms to that twice impeached convicted criminal and his gang of grifters. No way. We will out-organize them. We will outvote them. We will outlast them. Because when I see you all out here today, when I see you all out here today in your thousands, in millions across the country, I have hope. I have faith that America can defeat this fascist threat, this authoritarian mania, this MAGA cult, and save our freedoms. And I also have faith and hope that one day soon, the Palestinians will be free. Thank you very much for your time. God bless you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm Washington, D.C. welcome to Deirdre Schiefling, Chief Political and Advocacy Officer of the American Civil Liberties Union, who leads the ACLU's policy, campaigns, and organizing work to fight for civil rights and liberties nationwide. And Sarah Parker, Executive Director of Voices of Florida.
Hello, everyone. Hello, DC. Woo! You look so beautiful. I wish you could see yourselves from here. You look amazing. You look powerful. I'm Deirdre Schiefling. I'm the Chief Political and Advocacy Officer for the ACLU, the American Civil Liberties Union, and a proud Washingtonian. I'm so thrilled to be here with you, my community, today, doing the most patriotic and American thing that we can do, peacefully, lawfully protesting the Trump administration's abuses of power and exercising our First Amendment rights. After all, our country has a 250-year-old history of disagreeing in public, and we are not about to stop now. For more than 100 years, the ACLU has defended our country's freedom, especially the First Amendment freedom of speech. It's not just our opinion that everyone is entitled to their beliefs without fear of punishment. It's in our country's Constitution. It's the cornerstone of our democracy. Our basic American freedoms are not something that any president can take away from us. So why is Trump trying? What is he so afraid of? This moment is so much bigger than a political disagreement. It's about standing up for our rights and the future of democracy. The democracy we want is a country of freedom, a country of equals, a country of due process and laws that apply to everyone. Not a country where masked ICE agents kidnap people out of their beds in the middle of the night, where they zip tie terrified children together. No. Not a country that tells schools and universities to teach ideology instead of facts. And certainly not a country that sends armed troops into our cities to scare us into silence. I refuse to allow that version of our country to take hold, and I know you do too. The courage that we are creating here today across the nation is contagious. It's powerful, and it's exactly what they're afraid of. I want to tell you something I've learned. The best way to protect our freedom is to act free. I was in my hometown of Buffalo, New York, a couple months ago, and I saw a new billboard up from the Buffalo Public Library. It said, "Free people read freely." Free people read freely. 4 words. I was so struck by the simplicity and the power of that statement, and by the fact that the public library felt the need to make it. Free people read freely. They think freely. They protest freely. They act free. The best way to protect our freedom is to act free. Thank you for doing that today. Thank you for your courage. It's powerful and it's contagious. We live in a democracy and we are going to act free. And with that, I'll turn it over to Sarah Parker.
My name is Sarah Parker, and I'm the Executive Director of Voices of Florida and a National Coordinator with 5051. But most importantly, I am a Southern Black woman, a proud Floridian, and a mother. I was taught to speak up for what's right and to stand against injustice, to place my little hand over my heart and to believe liberty and justice for all meant something real. But what I once believed America was is being crushed under the boot of this administration. I should be at home with my children, raising them to believe in the promise of this country, not standing here demanding the rights that should never have been up for debate. I am honored to be here today, but this is not what I dreamed of. I never dreamed I'd be standing on a stage like this while millions of people are forced to march and protest peacefully in the streets because we refuse to stand by while this country slips into the iron grip of authoritarianism. And I ask this administration now, when we say with liberty and justice for all, who is all to this administration? Because this administration has made it painfully clear. It sure as hell ain't the people who need access to abortion care. It damn sure ain't the people and their families being ripped apart by deportation and kidnapped in the dead of night. It's not our LGBTQ communities and BIPOC communities being criminalized just for existing. And it damn sure ain't the people marching for justice while the National Guard is unleashed on peaceful protesters in their own streets. Contrary to popular belief, the fabric of this country wasn't woven by oligarchs, corporations, or power-hungry politicians. It was stitched together by workers, by immigrants, by black and brown communities, by women, by queer folks, and by people who refuse to stay quiet in the face of injustice. This movement was made by the people. This movement, No Kings, was named by the people. This movement is the people. And newsflash to this administration and for the people who need it, this country was built on protest. And some of the most important changes in our history happened because everyday Americans just like us. And now, those in power are trying to unravel it thread by thread, taking away rights, stripping away dignity, rewriting what freedom actually means. They've tried to silence us with fear. They've tried to gaslight us with lies. And politicians have stood in front of the cameras, smugly, I may say, peddling smear after smear. Because it's easier for them to smear the American people than to recognize what they're doing to this country. And where I come from, we call that cowardice. We refuse. I refuse to let this become our reality. It is our duty. It is our right as Americans to dissent when democracy is under threat. Let me be clear. Democracy dies when we are silent. But democracy is reborn when we speak with courage. And authoritarianism cannot withstand truth. And it crumbles under the power of love and dissent. And as leaders before me have said, courage is not the absence of fear. It is the choice to act despite of it. And for what it's worth, I am proud of each and every courageous leader that is taking the streets today. We are peaceful because we know that's how real change is created. We are fighting because we love our communities and we love our country. We are using our voices because it is our God-given American right. And anyone who says otherwise is not only lying to the American people, they are lying to themselves, and I don't know how they sleep at night. And like we say in the South, a hit dog will holler, and I'm hearing a lot of hollering coming from the Capitol building. The American people are pissed. And I would like to say before I go, I want to thank every last one of you. I want to thank all the organizers with 5051. I want to thank Political Revolution, who's a national partner. But I want to thank our children. I want to thank our teachers. I want to thank your hearts for doing this and being out here in the street when they tried to make you afraid. The message today will be crystal clear, and they won't be able to ignore it. There will be no kings in America. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. Thank you.
Please welcome to our stage Oliver Marino from Immigrant Legal Resource Center and member of El Colectivo de Familias Migrantes, and Afeni Evans, community organizer with the Fair Budget Coalition.
Thank you. Good morning. Earlier this year, as the Trump administration began its anti-immigrant attacks from the White House, the Colectivo de Familias Migrantes, a group of DC families and organizers, came together to find community and ways to protect each other. We knew what was coming and why we needed to fight back, organize, and take care of each other. In the last few months, we have witnessed masked ICE agents, National Guard, and DC's own Metropolitan Police Department work together to abduct our community members. People have been detained while going to work, at local parks, in front of schools. Hundreds of people have been separated from their families, their loved ones, and our community. This is still happening. Just a few blocks from here, people have been racially profiled, handcuffed, and put in vehicles and taken. Sometimes they're transferred to detention centers hundreds of miles away in states like Louisiana, Alabama, and Georgia, away from family and away from legal counsel. And to be clear, here in DC, the anti-immigrant attacks have come not only from the White House, but also from our own mayor, Mayor Bowser. Mayor Bowser tried to repeal DC's Sanctuary Values Act, a local law that limits collaboration between MPD, the local police, and ICE. But while politicians have failed us, it's been DC residents that have stepped up. We have seen our people go out and film ISIS abuses in the streets, share Know Your Rights information, provide mutual support to families of people detained, and organize to protect their immigrant neighbors. This is the moment to show solidarity, to reject attempts to dehumanize and criminalize our immigrant community, to hold our elected officials accountable, and to force them to stand up to an authoritarian administration that does not care about due process and people's constitutional rights. In order for the Trump administration to carry out its plans, it needs compliance from the public and from local governments. We must not comply. We need to do all that's in our power to protect immigrant families and our neighbors. We need us. We need you. We need each other to protect families, not feds. Thank you.
Peace, y'all. My name is Afeni, and I'm a community organizer with the Fair Budget Coalition here in DC. And this is my appeal. In 1792, when the French monarchy was abolished, the people established a new republic. When that one didn't quite work out, it was a military dictatorship. Yikes. It was abolished in 1848, and a second republic was established. But that one didn't quite fit. So their third republic was erected in 1870. That republic didn't smell right, though. So they tried a fourth republic in 1946. And the republic that we are witnessing right now in France was established in 1958. My fellow Americans, I am here to tell you that the social contract in this country has been broken. Decades of movement work, progress, and struggle nationalists who seek dominion over every aspect of our lives. Long before ICE started terrorizing our streets, the police were gunning down black people in their homes, their cars, and in the streets in front of their communities. The construction of cop cities and the strengthening police state have threatened our urban centers for years. This current escalation in state violence is nothing more than an extension that the violence that marginalized communities have been bearing the brunt of. This republic was sold as our American dream, home of the free, land of the brave. Yet, it has produced the outcome that we are currently experiencing, a system that edifies oligarchs and creates false monarchs. The society that we live in is what got us here. It is what brought us to this fever pitch, but we do not have to stay here. Now, more than ever, we need to reimagine a society that holds all of our humanity to the highest priority. We need a humane economy. We need well-funded public education. We need affordable housing and health care that does not bankrupt families that are just trying to get by. We need strategic youth investment in music, arts, and recreation. Our children need access to full, clean water and fresh food. In this moment, we need community, we need compassion, we need love and radical imagination, and most importantly, we need each other. Because the social contract has been broken, but we, the people, must revive it. We, the people, can be stewards for a land of the free. We, the people, can be brave and make this broken house into a home for all of us. Because we are the source of power in this country. Our labor, our taxes, and our faith keep this system going. So we must have the revolutionary hope that collectively we, the powerful people, have the capacity to create something better. I'm here to tell you that we must be audacious in our pursuit of fulfilling that generational mandate. Because with public sentiment, nothing can fail. And without it, this system cannot succeed.
And now, welcome to this No King stage, an American science educator, engineer, comedian, television presenter, inventor, keynote speaker, and author. He is a respected champion of scientific literacy who has challenged opponents of evidence-based education and policy on climate change, evolution, and critical thinking. Please welcome Bill Nye, the Science Guy.
Woo! We love that song, Hello, DC. Fellow citizens, it is wonderful to see so many of us out here today. We are here for the same reason our ancestors gathered here in 1776. We want our government to run without a king. Our government is based on ideas embodied in the Constitution. Among other remarkable features, it guarantees our freedom to speak, as we're doing here today. Rather than doing one monarch's bidding, we have agreed to form a democracy, to work together, and to follow the laws that derive from it. No thrones, no crowns, no kings. As many of you know, I am a native Washingtonian. I grew up here within the city boundaries.
And when you grow up here, the affairs of the federal government are very much a part of your life. I remember well sitting on my father's shoulders and waving to astronauts as we, as a nation, celebrated their accomplishments back in 1964. In 1964, that was the first year my parents could vote for president as citizens of the District of Columbia. We still do not have voting representation in the district. Someday, perhaps. I remember well Martin Luther King's dream and Resurrection City, the plywood structures on the National Mall erected to house protesters who came to town demanding equal rights and opportunities, barely a month after Dr. King had been assassinated. I remember well the Vietnam War. The mall was shoulder to shoulder, much as it is today. Traffic stopped citywide. The protest movement expanded. There were protests around the country, and the war was ended. We are protesting in the same fashion today. Only today, the stakes are higher. Rather than abandoning a war against an elusive, perhaps sometimes imaginary foe, we are confronting the possible end of our republic. We are here to tell our lawmakers that what's going on in our government is wrong. They must stop the abuses of this petulant president and his circle of sycophants. No thrones, no crowns, no kings. This president and his associates cannot tolerate dissent. To them, our free speech is frightening. They are arresting people and denying due process in courts. They've tried to silence television hosts. They're trying to fire or indict civil servants, prosecutors, judges, even their own cabinet members. But in this land, these sorts of actions are not new. In 1776, our ancestors had had enough. They declared independence from a king by means of a document stored safely right over there on Constitution Avenue in the National Archives. Although it was conceived 249 years ago, the Declaration of Independence describes a train of abuses connected with an absolute authority, a king with absolute power. No thrones, no crowns, no kings. Their king had refused to honor the law. Their king had refused to let lawmakers be elected. The king had made court judges dependent on his will. They cited the king sending, quote, swarms of officers to harass our people. Their language referred to, quote, cruelty and faithlessness scarcely paralleled in the most barbarous of ages. Their king was trying to, quote, render the military independent and superior to civil power. Our founders even censured King George for cutting off trade with all parts of the world. Did these actions sound familiar? 249 years later, no crowns, no thrones, no king. In short, the founders believed their king was, in their words, quote, totally unworthy to be the head of a civilized nation. No thrones, no crowns, no kings. Although the United Nations has been the world's leader, and although the United States has been the world's leader in science for decades, this president and the members of his cabinet even failed to accept scientific facts. Contrary to Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution, they do not promote the progress of science. They suppress it to the detriment of our health, well-being, and international competitiveness. It is a formula for failure. How did we get here? It hasn't been one instance of abuse of the power of executive order by this president. It hasn't been just one twist in a court ruling. Instead, it has been years in the making, enabled by this president, a group of Confederates has worked together to undo many of our traditions and understandings of fairness and of citizens' rights. And they've done this through an odd legal tactic to overwhelm our court system with legal game after legal game, trying to hold or impound money secretly in order to let legal deadlines pass, to pretend that people they don't know, who are from different backgrounds, are somehow not quite citizens and not worthy of respect under the law. No thrones, no crowns, no kings. Let us now raise our voices. We are here demanding a return to the rule of law. Let the world know that we will suffer no king. We will put the United States back on a course to lead the world in fair governance. Together, no thrones, no crowns, no kings. Thank you all. Let's change the world.
Ladies and gentlemen, now please welcome I-Jen Poo, a care advocate and organizer who serves as executive director of Caring Across Generations and president of the National Domestic Workers Alliance and Care in Action, and Randy Weingarten, president of the American Federation of Teachers.
Hello, D.C. Let me hear you say no kings. I'm so proud to share the stage today with my brilliant friend and sister hero, Randy Weingarten. And I bring greetings from the great city of Chicago. And I bring love from the caregivers all over this country, caregivers and workers who guard the safety and well-being of our children and enable the dignity and agency of older people and disabled people in our lives all over this country. We are out marching in cities and towns all over this country today because we see what's happening. Parents unable to afford life-saving medicine for their children. Caregivers losing their health care and their ability to take care of the people they love. Disabled people forced into institutions because their caregivers have been taken by ICE. Mothers violently torn from their children by armed, masked men with no due process. Shame. Shame. This administration has broken the law, lied, stolen our care, and is attempting to steal our constitutional rights and freedoms. They think that they will get away with it. They will not. There are no kings in America. And you know what else I see? I see parents, caregivers, and teachers working together to make sure that immigrant children can go to school safely. I see unions and families organizing together and winning. In states like Michigan, where 32,000 home care workers just won a union. And in New Mexico, where child care is now free for everyone who needs it. It's the bravery of everyday people coming together to protect each other, to push for a good life for our families in America. We can win. We are the caring majority, and we are greater than the cruelty of wannabe kings. So let's remember the strength of our numbers today. Let's remember that we are not alone. We are the caring majority. And let us continue to be brave. Are you with me?
Yes!
Are you with me?
Yes! Thank you, Washington, D.C. From up here, you cannot see the perimeter. There are so many people who want to fight for our democracy and say no kings. And what I've just been told, that in New York City, there are more people in Times Square than there are on New Year's Eve. I want to thank my colleague and friend and sister, Ajen, for all of her advocacy. And she knows, like I know, you cannot do any of the things that Ajen talked about if we do not have a democracy. And today, we are saying we are fighting for our democracy. We in the labor movement are fighting for a democracy and a voice in it so we can secure a better life for all working people, all of God's children. Better wages, affordable health care and child care, good schools for children, and a secure retirement. Tell me, what is radical about all of that? But today, I speak not only as the leader, proud leader of a 1.8 million member union of people who make a difference in the lives of others, but I speak as a teacher, a high school social studies teacher. Yes, let's hear it for the teachers of America. A teacher who taught students about the Constitution and its underlying principle, we the people. We the people are a country that is governed by the rule of law, not the rule of one man. We are governed by fairness, not fear or favor. Now this idea, as you've heard before, see, you can go and say, if you're kids right now, this is your homework for the weekend, okay? This idea has been a constant for 249 years, since the Declaration of Independence, and the notion made famous by the Gettysburg Address of a government by, for, and of the people. Say it again, by, for, and of the people. Now, we know the founders were not perfect, but they had one abiding principle, and that is and was that we as a nation should never, ever again be ruled by a tyrant or a king. That was as true today as it was back then. And that is why millions of people today from all walks of life are turning out at these thousands of events. Republicans, Democrats, independents, black, brown, white, this 68-year-old Jewish baby boomer, Muslim small business owners, Christian Gen Zers. This is, as Ajen said, we are the majority of America. And what do we want? What do we want? We want the promise of America for everyone. We want a voice in our future. We are standing up in peaceful, patriotic protest, just like our founders called out. No throne. no crowns, no kings. We are standing up because we don't want our streets militarized. We don't want our neighbors disappeared by masked Asians. We don't want our colleges forced to sign loyalty oaths. We don't want, what? We don't want public officials arrested on trumped-up political charges. And, this is a little different, we want our federal government to fix the healthcare crisis that was created by the big ugly bill Republicans passed in July. We want a president who will keep healthcare premiums down, bring down the cost of groceries and housing, strengthen public schools, make college affordable, and embrace workers' rights. Again, what is radical about any of that? Exactly. We want the president to spend his time solving our country's problems, not settling scores with political opponents. We want a future that is based on fairness and justice and the rule of law, not chaos, corruption, or cruelty. So, I'm going to end with a couple of labor slogans here. Because, my friends, we are in an existential fight. And right now, we all have to organize and be stronger and bolder because no one is going to save us but ourselves. So, we got a lot of sayings in labor, but the first one is, when we fight, when we fight, when we fight, and the second is, the people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated. The people united will never be defeated or divided. Either one is fine. So, are we united today? Will we fight for our democracy? Will we fight for the promise of America? This is about loving America, right? So we're sending a clear message to the president. Rather than smearing those calling out problems, solve those problems. So today, no kings. Tomorrow, freedom. Today, no kings. Tomorrow, freedom.
Now please welcome the co-founder of the Black Votes Matter Fund and one of the leading voices on voting rights, Cliff Albright. He is joined by 10th grader Zion, a youth student advocate from the Trigger Project.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zion Stewart. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Zion Stewart, and I'm from W Street Southeast, better known as Chopper City. I grew up around a lot of trauma and violence like many kids in my neighborhood. I got connected to the Trigger Project through one of my mentors. Going through Trigger University, I felt something I never felt before. A safe space, people who believed in me, and a chance to learn the real causes and the disease of gun violence. More police doesn't fix what's really going on. It just adds more confusion and chaos. It doesn't heal our pain. It doesn't give us opportunities or make us feel safe in our neighborhoods. Saying fuck Trump. All right.